Awesome.
All right, here we go. House passes 56 anti-Obama measure. Here we go. Let's go on.
They've done it once. They've done it 56 times. This is not one time. It's 56 times you wanted to appeal the Affordable Care Act. 56 times. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle are probably pretty proud of themselves. After all, Joe DiMaggio, he had a 56-game hitting streak, something people say will never be equated again. But unlike Joltin' Joe, this one isn't a streak of hits. It's a streak of losses, a streak of strikeouts for the American people. It's a streak of being willing to sacrifice the health and well-being of your constituents just to make a cheap political point. This majority is apparently ready and eager to actually take away health coverage. And as my friend from New Jersey, Mr. Pasquale, said, try explaining this to your constituents back home. Take away health coverage that people have purchased and have been using for over a year. They would make people, particularly seniors, pay back the tax credits that helped them afford the coverage in the first place. They would ask their seniors to go back to pinching pennies to afford prescription drugs and even force them to repay the rebate check they received for their high prescription drug costs. They would put insurance companies back in charge of what kind of health care you can get and when you can get it and how much it's going to cost. That's not a win to me. That's not something to celebrate. You should all be ashamed of. Mr. Speaker, you're no Joe DiMaggio. Some streaks put you at the top. This one puts you at the bottom.
So there you have it, Drew. I think you have a little follow-up on this.
Yeah.
All right, good.
The House of Representatives on Tuesday voted for the 56th time to repeal or undermine the Affordable Care Act. The vote was largely symbolic because the measure is unlikely to pass the Senate and would face a certain veto from President Barack Obama if it did. But Republicans insisted on the vote, casting it as a chance to send a message and let the new GOP members have a chance to vote against the law that most of them contend destroy jobs, freedom, and the Constitution. We have been bringing the full repeal of Obamacare here to the floor over and over to give everybody an opportunity, even those that didn't have an opportunity to get involved in this debate, to go on record and tell us where you want to see the future of the health care circumstances here in the United States, said Representative Steve King, a Republican of Iowa, one of the law's most vehement opponents. Every Republican up to this point has voted to repeal Obamacare. Every member of the House, with the exception of those that were sworn in for the first time for this Congress, has had that chance, King said before the vote. Now we give everyone that chance. We will send a full repeal over to the Senate, so the 9 freshman Republicans over there can clearly also go on record.
Wow, unbelievable. 56 times. Thanks, Drew. Yeah, I mean, like, with the Affordable Care Act, people need to understand that.
I think you're talking about Obamacare.
Obamacare, yeah, exactly.
You can't call it the Affordable Care Act because then people might agree with it. You have to call it something scary.
Obama Hussein,
like Obama,
yeah.
Hussein Obamacare.
Yeah, Hussein care. Yeah, but the thing with Obamacare is that millions of more people can afford health care now to a certain point, which will eventually, hopefully, that's what they're speculating, that'll lower health care costs, as it's currently doing. It is really lowering health care costs to a certain point. But what it primarily did recently is it has also slowed down the rise in healthcare premiums, right, through work and stuff, which is a plus. And we also need to realize that we do need a universal healthcare, I think, in my own opinion, because you look at other countries out there that have a universal healthcare, a socialized type of healthcare. You look at Denmark, Finland, England, Norway, Sweden, even Hong Kong.
Every other first world country.
Exactly, and dozens more.
Taxes. You can't stop taxing me. You're taxing me to death.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And real quick, I want to finish here is also, you got to remember, more people that are insured, what it eventually does is there's measures out there like preventive health care. This is a big issue, because it's easier to detect cancers in its early stages if we have free screenings for women, breast cancer, so on, where, yeah, we want to detect this cancer because the cost of treating cancer in its later stages, it's so expensive. It's people just go bankrupt because of it, and that's a good thing. And also, my last point here, and Paul, you can go, I'm sorry. Under the Affordable Care Act, you also can't be denied, like previously, be denied of pre-existing existing conditions. So, of course, this is just a conservative Republican political stunt, I think, in my opinion. Fuck the poor and people in poverty. So, Paul, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just they're wasting time again. That's all they've been doing. Since they got control of the House, they've done nothing but waste time introducing bills that they just later abandon because they know it's not going to pass. They do the Keystone thing, that's going to get vetoed.
Yeah,
That's going to get vetoed. They're just fucking wasting more and more time and not getting anything done. And now, again, 56th time they're trying to repeal the Affordable Care Act. They can't get it done any other time. They can't get it done through SCOTUS. They can't get it done through any other means. So they're trying, and all they're doing is wasting more and more fucking time doing nothing, just jerking off.
Because even as it says, I mean, they're not going to repeal it this time. Even if it did somehow pass, it's going to pass the House of Representatives. It's not going to pass the Senate. Even if it did, Obama's going to veto it. This is Obama's baby. There's no way Obama is just going to let them have their way with that. But the one point that I wanted to touch on isn't necessarily that aspect as much as this Congress that we have now has the 113th Congress had like a 9% approval rating. I mean, Vladimir Putin has a better approval rating in America than this Congress had, and they reelected. It was like 94% reelection. These are the people, and they're supposed to be, jobs, and this is all they do. This is at 56-0.
Yeah, they are like
it's 0-50. They're complete fucking losers, and they're doing this voting on it over and over again shit to say that like, I voted against Obamacare like 12 times, so vote for me, because they have this fucking retarded constituency. The people that vote them into power want to hear this kind of crazy, stupid bullshit, and they want to give everyone a chance, even the newly elected ones, a chance to say like, I voted against it in the House of Representatives, so vote for me next time. It's just a complete load of bullshit.
Absolutely.
The whole way they go about it is just so terribly corrupt and fucking just mind-numbingly ignoring the real issues that do go around. They don't talk about the military spending and the military budget nearly as much as they talk about Obamacare. They don't try and repeal fucking overspending and losing billions of dollars in war and shit. They don't care about that shit. But oh my God, you want to give
fighting for people,
taxpayers fucking health care? That's
socialism.
Crazy.
I know, right?
Socialism. Let's throw out some words that are really good words that we'll just make them sound bad. We'll just say liberal like it's a bad thing. We'll say Obama like it's a bad thing.
The meaning of socialism in their viewpoint doesn't mean the socialism that we would think of. You know what I mean? The social things like Social Security. Isn't that a form of socialism? We get paid through the government. TruthSurge, you got anything to add to this?
Not a lot. The thing I noticed, I was on some insurance plan before the Obamacare. Oh, I'm sorry. Healthcare thingy. Make sure I said it right. I was on some insurance that I was getting through because I just said I was a sole proprietor of my voiceover stuff. And so I was getting a really, really low rate. I was getting it was costing me $35 a month, which is, you know what I mean?
Pretty low. I pay
that's low. Yeah,
way low.
I pay 50 for single coverage. But
once this Obamacare, once that came into play, the stuff I had evaporated. It was like they sent me a letter like, we just don't exist anymore. So I'm like, so at that point I was like, damn you, Obamacare. Because I had such a nice little package, because at that time I was like, I haven't been, I don't get sick. I go to the doctor once every 2 years for some small stuffed up, stopped up nose or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I had to get on this, it was a big mess to me. I had to get on this website and go through all this BS, blah, blah, blah. But it ended up, it was about $60 a month after all was said and done, with $5,000 deductible though. So I got the big deductible because I just assumed I was never going to have, anything drastic happen.
So you see a negative impact on this on Obama?
For me,
it
was negative because I had to pay more every month and my deductible went up. But for somebody who was already paying $300 a month, it probably was. They saw their premiums and stuff go
Yeah,
down.
yeah. That's a good point, though. That's a good point. I like hearing other
So
points.
it's not horrible for me. I mean, I'm paying, like I said, about 60, and then it may go up because I had to. I told them, like how much I make a year as a guess, because I don't know. One year I make 20,000, next year I make 40,000. So I have no way of knowing. So we'll see what it happens in the next couple of months if my premium goes up from where it is.
Like I said, I stated this plenty of times, is when it comes to the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare is it's a start, I think, in my opinion, looking at the evidence and what it offers other people that just can't afford health care. I just think it's a good start. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying I just think it's a good start. I think it's a good start to get us to maybe to where other countries are when it comes to universal health care. I understand in other countries that if you're really sick, it doesn't really, universal healthcare really doesn't benefit you too much, because you sort of get like, I guess they give you money for, if people are healthy, they give you money. So what happens is you have this bank for your healthcare, and then you could pull from that bank, your healthcare bank, to pay for co-payments and stuff like that. So I understand where if people are ill and they're sick, yeah, it might not be good for them right now, and I totally understand that. But I think it's moving in the right direction when it comes to healthcare. In my own opinion, I understand that, you don't have too much of a, liking for Obamacare, at least right now. At least right now, I should say. So that being said, anybody else have anything else any more input on this story? We can move to the second topic. You guys want to do that?
Yeah, no, I just thought that, it's the Republicans wasting more time, and then they were talking about, we're going to do job creation. Their big thing was what? The Keystone, they need to push it because it's going to create middle-class jobs, what Obama wants. But, it's going to create a little bit, maybe. Not nearly the amount that we need, that the country actually needs. So your solution and a good boost to the economy is to create a pipeline that's going to be a fucking bad thing on the environment, because we've already seen a similar one burst twice in the same fucking river, right?
So they're lying. We can move on.
Yeah.